Hey, Pat, first of all, thank you so much for this and all of your past work. What do you think about creating content in your native language versus going global in English? I think if you have the opportunity to do that, you might start to find that you have a big advantage, because although there are less people likely consuming, you're going to start to see a lot of these markets, especially Spanish-speaking markets, and I mean, all of them are growing right now, especially right now where most people are starting to discover podcasts for the first time. Most people are starting to discover certain websites and influencers and leaders in the space right now for the first time, because we have the time to go and find these things. It's those who step up in this time who are going to be seen. And if you want to do that in your own language, I think you have a big advantage, because there's definitely less competition, and people who are likely people who will consume information in that language are going to really appreciate it, that it's not something they have to struggle with, but it's in their native language. So I think that there's definitely an opportunity there. It's going to be a slower growth, but it's going to be something that would likely have you become more of an authority sooner. I would definitely recommend checking out your country's Apple Podcasts directory, because you're going to see that there are some very specific native language speaking podcasts that are likely performing very well right now. And there's not as many of them as there are in English. There's often a question that comes secondary to this, which is, okay, well, can I do both? Can I create content in my native language and then just do the same thing in English too? Yes, you can, and that's a very smart thing to do should you have the time and bandwidth to do that. However, if you're going to be starting a podcast, for example, you don't want to have them both in the same feed. If you're doing a YouTube channel, you don't want to have both the native language and the English speaking stuff in the same YouTube channel. And the reason is because your subscriber, for example, they're not going to get value from the one that they don't consume. You need to think about it from the listener or viewer's perspective, such that every video or every podcast is relevant to them. And if it's not, they're going to have, half as much, if not less, engagement with you. So just keep that in mind.